Well, here we are 24 hours later. As you can tell, pretty wet. It's raining really hard outside the shop tonight. But we've had enough time for the RTV to go hard and create that seal that we wanted on our temporary gasket. What I'm going to do now is just bring you in and we'll put some caps back into this exhaust manifold and we'll put some pressure on it and see what this one looks like. So let's have a look. Okay, here we go. So this is the wooden gasket that we put on yesterday. As you can see, we've got the RTV around the outside. I took some of the end caps off the other exhaust manifold. So what I'm going to do is start blocking some of these ports up. I'll put them in loose for now, and then we'll just crank them tight with the half-inch wrench handle, half-inch socket handle. And then we're going to do the same as we did last time. So we're going to put pressure onto the water system. Make sure I've got it the right way around. So definitely one in there. And one more down there. Okay, just blocking up these ports to make sure they're nice and tight and closed, and that will hopefully keep the air inside the unit, which is what we're looking for. Looking to get pressure inside this and see whether we get some exhaust leakage. So, okay, just turn that over, move that out of the way now, and we'll just tighten these up some. So these actually work on a half-inch socket arm, and we don't want to go too mad with them, but we do want to make sure they're making a nice seal, because that's going to keep the air inside. And what I'm looking for is to bring this up to about 30 psi and just see if it holds. There we go, it's getting a bit tight. I want to go too nuts. There we go, that one's good. One on the end. That one's pretty good. The same on this end. I should probably clean my workbench. It's looking pretty grubby. There's a lot of stuff on here at the moment. That's pretty tight. And do the same on this one. So, like I said before, I'm not overly convinced these things are going to do the job. And to be fair, they're probably that old that I shouldn't even be considering reusing them. There we go. That's nice and tight. So I've got two more to do. Let's turn that upside down to show you. So one on each end of here. I have to grab one off the other manifold. This one's actually a slightly different design. No, it is the same. Thought it was a little bit different. Let's just check and put it in the right one. Yeah, so let's just put it in there. Come on. Tricky, I don't want to cross thread it or anything, just want to make sure I get it on the thread nice and neat, which you can't see very well on the camera there. So there we go, just putting that into the bottom there. Just get that on fairly tight, and what I'm going to do, yeah, I was going to put some PTFE tape on there, but I don't know that I need to on this one. There seems to be a lot of thread exposed and it's pretty tight, so let's just give it a go and see how it fares. There we go. So I've got one more cap to put on. I'm going to go and grab another cap off the other unit, and then we'll put that in there and we'll be able to connect this up to our pressure testing manifold. Okay, there we go. Got the last one out of the other exhaust manifold. A little tight to come out. It's used a little bit of heat to get that one through. So there we go. It's out now. So we get that tightened up. There we go. Again, not looking to go too mad on this. Just want to make sure they're sealed up nice and tight. Might need to back these out and put some tape on or some sealant. We just don't know until we try. Okay, right, there we go. So that's now got the manifold for our testing is attached. Move all this PTFE tape out of the way. So we have our testing device that we used last time. Move that to the edge. We'll screw that on there. And all we're going to do is pressure up the one end. Am I doing the right end? Yeah. Pressure up the one end. And we'll see how much PSI this thing will hold. The suspicion that's actually the wrong end. That is the wrong end. There we go. That makes the job a lot easier. Okay, we get that turned onto there. and use an adjustable to just tighten him up. Don't need to go too nuts. There we go. Right, so that's on. Slightly different configuration this time. Going in through the water, same as I did last time. But before, I think I went in through a different way. But anyway, we're going to do this one. I'm going to get the compressor charged up, then we'll put the air on it, and we'll put the camera down so we can see what PSI we're getting. We'll take the cover off so we can see that clearly. And yeah, let's just see what sort of pressure this thing will take. Okay, so that compressor's been going for a little while. Let's Okay, so here we go. I've got this connected. I've got a bit of pressure in there already. I just had to tighten up one of the stoppers on the back of this unit. It was still leaking just a little bit. Just move that forward a tiny bit. I've got some soapy water, and just give those a good spray. A little bit of a leak on this top end here, so just close that one off as well. Of course, I've got it just in the wrong place now to get the wrench and things in I need to. Awkward. Okay. There we go, that wasn't tight at all really. It's not surprising that was leaking. Let's tighten him up. There we go. Okay, so put some air in. Okay, that's up at about 40 some. This back one's leaking a little bit. That's stopped. Oh, that one's leaking a treat. So this one's leaking. These are actually slightly tapered, so as you tighten them up, they tighten into themselves. Right. Okay, let's do the test. Let's get a tiny bit of tissue paper and let's see if we've got anything blowing. What we're looking for is any air or something blowing out of these ports. And there's nothing. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Let me just show you down here. Okay, so just showing you the bubbles that are coming around there. So we're losing a little bit of pressure out of those. There's a couple of leaks, one on that one on that one. I've got dishwater and soap in my little squeegee bottle. And when you spray it on, if there's any gaps, it'll actually foam up. So that one's nice and tight. You can see those ones not so much. But we're getting no bubbles or anything coming from anywhere else. I've put the tissue paper over the top of these ports. There's no air coming through. Now these are the ones that go obviously directly back to the cylinder bores into the engine. So if there's nothing coming out of these and it's maintaining pressure, let's just take a quick look at that pressure. There we go, and it's still holding just over 40 psi. I'm actually really impressed with that. So I think that was a success. Wasn't sure whether or not this exhaust manifold would hold. It's a risk using these. They are probably the original ones. It's a big risk using them and then find that maybe they blow while I'm out on the water. But is it enough to get the boat back to our home marina? Most likely. I think these will probably do the job. So what I'm going to do is decommission all of this, take all of this apart, clean it all down, get it ready, and we'll get this one and the other one sealed up properly. We'll put some sealant and some paste onto each of these threads, and then we'll get these ones ready to go back onto the boat.